All right, I tell you all the time what's good about Bangkok. We're going to tell you the worst things about living in Bangkok. We'll do that right now. What's up, herd? JJ the Lonely Bull in Asia. I've been traveling to Southeast Asia for almost 10 years now, and I've lived in Southeast Asia for over 3 years. So I'm here to share my experiences with you. Okay, by popular demand, we are back at Jjt Park, the most popular spot, according to my subscribers, for me to post videos. I guess it's because of the beautiful views, but we'll find a spot to land, and then we're going to talk about the worst things about living in Bangkok. Okay, let's talk about the worst things about living in Bangkok. I've already told you about the good parts. Now let's talk about the bad parts. So number one, worst thing about living in Bangkok is the dating scene. And I'm talking about in relation to some other Southeast Asian countries, like for instance, the Philippines. It's very easy to date in the Philippines. It's not quite as easy to date here in Thailand for a couple of reasons. One, the age gap is narrower than it is in the Philippines. So if you're an old expat and you're expecting to date a very young Thai girl, it's probably not going to happen. You'll be much better off dating an older one, someone that's closer to your age, maybe that 15, maybe that 20-year age gap. You might be able to hit that, but generally speaking, you're not going to get that 65, 70-year-old expat dating the 20-year-old Thai girl like you would in the Philippines. Number two is they want to make sure you live here. They're not looking for a holiday boyfriend or a weekend boyfriend. So when you come here looking to date, if you're serious about looking to date, they want to make sure that you're actually serious about it and you're actually living here. Now, there are the transactional dates that you can get in abundance. That's not a problem. But if you're looking for a relationship, that's where you're going to run into problems if you don't actually live here. Another problem with dating here in Thailand or here in Bangkok is the language barrier. Not everybody speaks English, and if they do speak English, it's very broken. It's not great English, so you're going to have some issues possibly with dating a girl that speaks decent English. You're going to have that translation app with you at all times, and that can be problematic and kind of wear on you a little bit too. Also, you might run into dating scams like everywhere in Southeast Asia and probably everywhere all over the world. You could run into these scams, whether they're freelancers or whether they just are embarrassed to actually meet you. They like to message you a lot because they can use their translation apps to translate what they're saying and what you're saying. But when it comes to meeting face to face, maybe their English isn't any good or they don't speak any English, and so they don't actually want to meet you, so they're afraid to meet you. So the meetup never actually happens. So you might run into that. This is a middle-class country. It's not a third world country. So you're going to find that a lot of these girls that you're looking to date, especially in Bangkok, they actually work. They have careers. So they're busy all the time. And a lot of these girls, they work 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. Sometimes they only have 1 or 2 days off a month. So you're going to have problems finding time to actually meet and go out on dates with these girls because they're career girls and they work a lot. Another issue with dating, and it could be an issue, might not be, is a lot of these Thai girls, just like Filipinas, they have children from previous marriages or previous boyfriends. So they've got a family already. So if that's something you're not looking to do, then by all means, bypass that. But you're going to cut your opportunities down quite a bit because a lot of these girls here in Thailand have kids already, especially if they're a little older. So if you're looking to date somebody seriously that doesn't have kids, you might have to look a little harder. Okay, the second thing about the worst part of living in Bangkok is the language. I touched on that in the dating part, but the language barrier is significant. Now, In Bangkok, you can get by with not knowing any Thai. Most of the big touristy areas, the bigger restaurants, the bars, the malls, most of the people that work in those areas, they speak enough English so you can have a good conversation with them and it's not going to be an issue. But if you get outside those touristy areas into some of the more local areas in Bangkok and even outside of Bangkok, all other places in Thailand, that language barrier is significant. So you might have a problem communicating what you want when you're talking to Thai people. So it's always a good idea to learn at least a little bit of Thai when you come here. Okay, number 3, worst things about living in Bangkok is the pollution. The pollution can get really, really bad. Now, it's not bad today. It's cleared up actually the last couple of days, but earlier this week, it was really bad. In fact, it was so bad that the government decided to make public transportation free for all this week. So people were encouraged to ride the BTS and the subway, the MRT, instead of driving their vehicles to help reduce that pollution level, because it was really, really bad for about 2 or 3 days earlier this week. It's cleared up a little bit, but there are times, and when we get into that burn season, and what the burn season is, they burn all their crops up north, and then all that smoke comes down south, and it can be really, really bad. And if you have some respiratory issues, you might think twice about coming out to Bangkok, especially during the burn season, or coming to Thailand, because it can get really, really bad. Your eyes will burn, your nose will run. You can tell I've got a little bit of a chest congestion because of this. So you've run into those problems, so just be aware. Pollution is not good a lot of the times here in Bangkok. Now, there are times where it's okay and you can get out here and enjoy life, but just be aware that there are times where the pollution level gets really, really bad. All right, number 4 is the visas. So in Southeast Asia, there are a lot of countries where you can visit a long time on a tourist visa and never really have to leave. Philippines is one. You can stay there up to 3 years without having to leave the country on a tourist visa. Vietnam has an e-visa where you sign up for 90 days and then you can leave and come back for another 90 days, and you can just keep doing that. Here in Thailand, you get 60 days, most countries, most Western countries, you get 60 days visa-free entry, and then you can extend that another 30, so you can be here for 90 days. Now you can leave, and theoretically you can come back and do the 60 plus 30 again, but they're kind of cracking down on that a little bit and asking a little more questions. If you keep coming back, they're going to start asking questions. Why do you keep coming back? Why are you here? It might not be as easy to keep coming back to Thailand every 60 or 90 days. Number 5 worst things about living in Bangkok are the scammers or the sellers on the street. Now, if you get into the tourist areas, you're going to run into a lot of these sellers where they're selling watches, they're selling phones, they're selling condoms, they're selling Viagra, you name it, they were selling it on the street, and it gets to a point where you're walking through a crowd and they're jumping in front of you trying to sell their stuff, where you're just trying to walk around, or maybe you're sitting outside having a drink or dinner or something, and they walk up to you trying to sell their watches or phones or whatever. So you got to be tolerant of that, because it's going to happen. If you don't like that, stay out of the heavy traffic tourist areas and you won't run into that near as much. Other things are those tours that you see. The taxi cab drivers will be parked along the street, and they've got these big cards that have all these tourist attractions. They may be legit, they may not be legit, so just buyer beware. A lot of times if you get into a taxi or a tuk-tuk and you want to go to a temple, they'll tell you the temple's closed because they've got to deal with another person. Will take it to another place and they get a kickback. So just be aware that temples normally don't close unless it's a special holiday, but that's a scam. Airport scams with the taxis also, so just be careful with that. It's always good to get a grab out of the airport or takes the train to wherever you need to go. There's a lot of other options as far as travel when you get to the airport and you're leaving the airport. All right, number 6 is the heat. If you're not used to the heat, you're going to get into some situations here in Thailand and pretty much all over Southeast Asia where the heat can get unbearable if you're not used to it. Now, this time of year, it's pretty nice. It's about 86 degrees here today. It'll get down in the mid to upper 70s at night, so it's nice and cool. So we're in that time of year where we just got out of the rainy season back late last year, and now we're in that cool season, kind of a winter almost here in Bangkok in Southeast Asia. Once we get through February, that temperatures are going to start going up again, and it's going to get really, really hot. That could be the worst thing for you if you can't stand the heat. Then get out of the kitchen. Another thing, number 7, is the rainy season. The rainy season can be kind of an issue for you because it can flood. There are areas in Bangkok where the flooding can get pretty bad. I'm talking knee deep in some areas. So you have to be careful about those things. If you're looking to live here in Bangkok, just do a little bit of research and find out what areas are low-lying and have that flooding area and what areas are a little higher where you don't have those issues of flooding. Now, the rainy season's don't worry that it's going to be raining constantly every day for 3 months straight. It's not like that. Now, you may have those monsoon periods where it does have an all-day rain, but mostly in the rainy season, you get an hour or two in the afternoon where it rains and then it stops and then you're good for the rest of the evening. So it really doesn't rain constantly during the rainy season. It's just periodically. So, when you get those rainy times, just duck into a bar or a restaurant or the mall and just hang out until the rain ends and then come back outside and it's cooler and everything's nice. So you can deal with it. I can deal with it. You can deal with it. And finally, number 8, the traffic. The general traffic in Bangkok is heavy. It's especially during rush hours. If you're trying to get a taxi or grab from point A to point B, if you're in a heavy traffic area, it could take what would normally take 15 minutes could take you an hour and 15 minutes. It just depends on the traffic. So if you have an opportunity to take the BTS or the MRT train system, by all means take that. You're going to save time probably, and you're going to save a couple of headaches because the traffic can be the worst in Southeast Asia here in Bangkok. It's also bad in Manila, but we're talking Bangkok here. So you could get into some bad situations with traffic. And another option would be to take the bikes. Get on the back of a bike and you can get around the traffic. They'll duck in and out of the traffic and they'll get you where you need to go fairly fast. Now, it's a little dangerous. So if you don't want to put yourself in danger and put your life in the hands of some bike driver you've never even met before, you may want to skip that. But I've done it before, I've done it on occasion, and I tell you what, if I need to get from point A to point B quick, that's the best way to go. A lot of times if you're living or you're staying maybe 15 minutes away from the nearest BTS station, nearest train station, hop on a bike and you pay 15, 20 baht and they'll get you up to where you need to go. It's kind of a straight line shot. So that's a pretty easy thing to do, but that can be pretty bad, the traffic. So those are my 8 worst things about living in Bangkok. And you add all those up, it's still a great place to live, great place to visit. It's one of the top locations for tourists in the world, and tops in Southeast Asia. So if you haven't been here before, you want to check it out, by all means check it out, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe on my channel. Comment below if you can come up with any other things. Just be civil, because all the comments help my algorithm. It gets my videos out to other people that haven't seen it yet, and that's all what I want to do. I want to share my experiences with you. Until next time, as always, live life, my friend, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.